And you can use this one when you're
Hello.
swearing in.
Oh, the mic does work.
Hello?
Were you able to? That was my name.
What? And you said what? Yeah, I mean, he says, he has. I mean, he's 15 hours.
There we go. Hello, everybody. I am going to go ahead and call this Student Senate meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
The United States of America, into the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We begin this meeting of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association Student Senate with a land acknowledgement. We recognize that the Kansas State University, as the first land grant institution, stands on the ancestral lands of the Kaw people. Our state of Kansas is home to 4 federally recognized Native nations, the Iowa, Kickapoo, Prairie Band Potawatomi, and Sac and Fox. We must remember that the land serving as the foundation for this institution was and still is stolen land acquired by white settlers. We pledge our commitment to creating decolonized spaces at the university while advocating for the support and future success of Indigenous faculty, staff, and students at K-State. With that, Speaker Pro Tempore Pineda Gomez will take it off with a roll call vote.
Good evening, everybody. Abadir,
Here.
Atchison,
Here.
Ayers, Biggs,
Yep.
Blood,
Here.
Broughton,
Here.
Bruckner,
Here.
Koch,
Here.
Cole,
Here.
Compton,
Here.
Coy,
Here.
Cuesta,
Here.
Dennis,
Here.
Dunce,
Here.
Glasscock,
Here.
Griffith,
Here.
Hartzell, Heatherman, Hoffmans,
Here.
Hoffman,
Here.
Jacobson,
Here.
Kemen,
Here.
Kaplan,
Here.
Kidd,
Here.
Kermer,
Here.
Kenzie, Long,
Here.
Lynn,
Here.
Melcher,
Here.
Navarro, Nichols, O'Malley,
Here.
Pelton,
Here.
Peterson,
Here.
Bondillo,
Here.
Rios,
Here.
Rivard,
Here.
Rodriguez Melendez,
Here.
Rogers,
Here.
Syatt Carly,
Here.
Spindler, Strunk,
Sorry, I was here. I was drinking water. My apologies.
Strunk,
Here.
Buchanan,
Here.
Baltimore,
Here.
Winger, Wolf.
Here.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Awesome. With that, we will move into first open period. Are there any first open period speakers tonight? Seeing none, we will move into the approval of the minutes. The minutes were sent out last week on Thursday, March 23rd. Are there any corrections for the minutes? Brian? Senator Blood?
A couple. One, can we move the open period section before installation of the new student body president, student body vice president? Second, under resolution 1, it says moves table indefinitely and tabled indefinitely. If we can change the word table, put phone. And then under general orders, there were a few senators who deferred their speaking rights, and we could have that called out. That's it.
Those senators were marked. Senator Blood.
No. The people that that the speaking rights were deferred instead of getting.
Typically, you only mark down who has speaking rights,
Okay,
but thanks for the other changes.
Senator Questa?
I moved to approve the minutes.
second.
That has been moved and seconded. Are there any objections? Awesome. With that, we will move into announcements. First, if you are interested in serving on the Senate Executive Committee as a committee chair or in one of the independent positions, please fill out the application that is linked there in the announcements. This form closes tomorrow, March 31st at 11:59 p.m. Second, proxies, if you're going to be absent from a student Senate meeting, please fill out the link, even if you aren't sure if your absence will be excused. Third, if you'll be physically absent from student Senate, but would still like to attend via Zoom, please fill out the Senator Zoom request form. Make sure that you are filling out these Senate shout outs. It makes it a lot more fun if you fill out Senate shout outs, and then the pro tem, hopefully the newly sworn in pro tem, will get to read those out. So make sure that you guys are filling out Senate shout outs throughout Senate. And finally, the SGA member of the week is Evan Porter. Evan has done a fantastic job serving as the Speaker of the Student Senate in the 22-23 term, and has been working extremely hard to transition me. Thank you for your dedication to student voices. With that, we will move into approval of appointments. Can I get a motion? Senator Strunk?
I move to consider resolution 3. Second.
It has been moved and seconded to consider resolution 3. Are there any objections? With that, the author can come forward. The author is me. Resolution 23-2403, authors Kate Thomas. Whereas there is currently one vacancy for the position of student senator for the College of Arts and Sciences, and whereas Evan Porter has the next highest vote total of eligible and willing candidates for the 2023 KSU SGA general election for the College of Arts and Sciences, be it resolved that Section 1, the following individual be approved as a student senator for the College of Arts and Sciences, Evan Porter.
Are there any questions for the speaker? Or is there a motion? Senator Griffith.
I move to approve resolution 3 unanimously.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve resolution 3 unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing none, resolution 3 will be approved unanimously.
And Evan, if you want to come get sworn in, and also if anyone who was not here last week to get sworn in, please wants to come down, you can all get sworn in at the same time, or anybody over Zoom. Awesome. I will have you guys raise your right hand and say "I will" at the end. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of student senator and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association.
I will.
Awesome. I'm going to have you guys go down the line and introduce yourselves. I'm going to do name, major, hometown, and favorite smell.
I'm Andrew Abadir. I'm a senator from the College of Business. My major is organizational management, and my favorite smell is pineapple.
All right, I'm Charlie Kinsey. I'm from Sabetha, Kansas. I'm a junior studying professional strategic selling and food science. Favorite smell? Probably firewood.
My name is Evan Porter. I'm a junior studying political science from Olathe, Kansas. Favorite smell right after it rains.
Hi, my name's Jack O'Malley, studying history and from Wichita, Kansas. Favorite smell is probably a new baseball glove.
My name is Miles Rivard. I'm a construction science major from Olathe, Kansas. I'm a sophomore. Favorite smell is fresh cut grass.
My name is Austin Rios. I'm in strategic communication and I'm from Olathe, Kansas as well. And I'm a junior and I like lemon.
My name's Francesca. I'm in the College of Business. I'm a sophomore studying professional strategic selling. And I'm from Overland Park and my favorite smell would have to be a brand new car.
Awesome. Seeing that, is there the next is resolution 23-2404. Is there a motion to consider that resolution? Senator Griffin.
I move to consider resolution 4. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to consider resolution 4. With that, will the author please come forward?
All right.
No, you have to turn it on.
Now, can you hear me? Okay. Resolution 23-2404, approval of the chief of staff. Authors myself and Jessica Binkley. Sponsors Dr. Thomas Lane and Kate Thomas. Whereas the position of chief of staff was sufficiently advertised via an application made available to all students who showed interest in the Kansas State University Student Governing Association. Whereas there were 5 applicants for this position. And whereas this individual was chosen on the basis of their leadership ability, experience, and dedication to serving the students of Kansas State University throughout the term. Be it resolved that Section 1, Jacob Brown be approved as chief of staff.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the author? Senator Kamen.
Would you be able to speak to the decisions behind choosing Jacob Brown and his qualifications and relative to the other individuals?
Yeah, so I just want to start by saying that every applicant that we had was extremely qualified. There really wasn't, in our opinion, a wrong decision that we could have made. So I want to preface it with that. As far as Jake specifically, what he had was leadership experience through other organizations on campus, and we felt that that brought a lot of value. And as far as what we were looking for in the chief of staff role was just someone who was passionate about the position, was going to bring a lot of energy to the room, and just someone that would complement Jess and I's strengths.
Are there any further questions? Seeing that, is there a motion? Senator Kamen.
Motion to suspend the rules to allow debate.
Second.
Thank you.
The motion to suspend the rules to allow debate on the confirmation has been moved and seconded. This requires a 2/3 vote. Yes.
Point of information.
Yes.
Hand vote versus roll vote.
It is a hand vote. Yes.
Let's move for a roll call vote.
I say.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded for a roll call vote. What,
Need 15 senators to approve roll call vote. So just ask for 15 hands.
are there 15 hands to approve a roll call vote? It is not 15. So it will be a hand vote on, we are voting on the motion to suspend the rules to allow for debate. That is what we are voting on. All those in favor of allowing to suspend the rules to allow for debate, raise your placards now. All opposed? That is not 2/3. Seeing that, are there any other motions? Speaker, Senator Porter,
Approve resolution 4 unanimously.
is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve resolution 4 unanimously. Okay, we are going to go into a hand vote. Those who wish to approve it unanimously, please raise your placards now. All those opposed? That will pass by a hand vote. You may take your seat.
Okay, thank you.
If Jake would like to come up to get sworn in.
Okay.
I will.
Okay. All right, Jake, raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Chief of Staff and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association. Congrats. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, do the fun little.
Hi, guys. For you who don't know me, my name is Jake Brown. I'm a junior studying history and philosophy. I'm pre-law. I have the honor and privilege of serving you guys as your chief of staff, and I look forward to all the good we can do for our student body. Please, if there's anything I can ever do to try to help facilitate any conversation or anything to help you guys in any way, please know my door is always open. Thank you.
Awesome. We will now move into directors' reports. Are there any directors who would like to give a report tonight? I have a report tonight. First, hello, everybody. My name is Kate Thomas. I am your speaker of the Student Senate. The most important part of any meeting is the 5 minutes before and the 5 minutes after. So when you're here, I want you guys to introduce yourself, shake some hands. These people in this room can be your friends, your roommates in the next couple of years, or your proxy next week. I think that it's really important that we all get to know each other on a personal level and then on a professional level. I think that Senate is going to be able to do a lot of good this year. And I just wanted to introduce who I am and then also allow you guys to introduce yourselves to each other to just kind of facilitate the kind of culture that we want to cultivate in this next term. I'm giving this director's report to first introduce myself to you guys and second, bring up a couple of things. The first thing I wanted to bring up is that I want to bring back the dress code. As you've seen, some people are more dressed up than others. For equity reasons, I'm not going to make this a mandate of any kind. I understand that dressing up is a lot harder for some people than it is for others. But for this reason, it's just going to be a strong recommendation rather than a set rule. No one's going to be thrown out of Wildcat Chamber for not having a tie on. That being said, I think it's important for us to take ourselves seriously. We're allocating millions of dollars and we've been elected to be the voice of students all over campus. So because of this, I'm recommending that everyone try to wear a minimum of business casual. I'm not asking for three-piece suit. I'm just asking that no one wears sweats to Wildcat Chamber. Typically, I'm going to be showing up in business professional, and I think that it would be great if everyone else could kind of follow that. And barriers are understandable, but we all do have access to professional clothing for free through the Career Closet in the Career Center. That is something that everyone should take advantage of if they haven't heard of that yet. Everyone has the option to go and, depending on supply, take up to 3 articles of clothing from the Career Closet. And there's also some pretty good finds at Goodwill. A ton of my professional clothing is thrifted. I think it's also important to start building up a professional wardrobe while we're in college before we go out into the real world. Also, fraternities and sororities typically require a dress code of sorts at chapter for similar reasons. I know that many of you guys have class before Senate, but now that I've made this announcement, throw a blazer in your car. Like, Senate is at the same time every week. You have plenty of time to plan ahead. If you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out and talk to me, or you can ask questions after this report. The second thing that I have is please apply to the Senate Executive Committee. During new senator training, you all learned about the committees and the independent positions. These committees all need chairs. We need a communications director, emerging leaders coordinators, and a parliamentarian. I would love for my decision to be difficult. Currently, some of the positions only have one person who has applied. Please make my job harder. I became Tuition Enhancements Committee Chair last year, having been on neither fund. And then I was suddenly in charge of both of those funds. There are people in this room that have become chairs. RJ became DEI chair at the end of his freshman year. Jacob became TAC chair at the end of his freshman year. Experience is not the only thing that I'm looking for. I want to see that you care about SGA and would like to take on a little bit more responsibility. Throw an application into the pool. The worst thing that can happen is that you don't get it. The application is due tomorrow at 11:59 and interviews are Sunday at a time that's to be determined. But if Sunday doesn't work for you, we can work something else out. Finally, schedule a meeting with me. I genuinely meant it when I said that I want to get to know all of you. You can shoot me a text or schedule a meeting all in my email signature, or feel free to stop by the office. I got everything decorated. I have a bowl full of candy. And so you can drop in and ask a question or just hang out. Plenty of people are already eating lunch in the office, and it's a great way to make some friends. I now stand for questions. If you have any questions about anything that was in the report that I just gave. Parliamentarian Atchison.
This is just sort of a point of information. One, like suit coat, a shirt, and his pants counts as one item at tax closet. So there's 2 more spots there for like a tie.
Yeah, awesome. It's a great resource that I think all of you should take advantage of. Any further questions? Awesome. Are there any further directors that would like to give a report? President Stout.
So while you're looking at things to apply for, you might have seen that our cabinet applications are officially open. So again, like Chief of Staff emailed all of that to you guys this morning. So go on there, take a look at those positions. Let's see, it will close at like 11:55, 11:59 on Easter, Sunday, April 9th. So have it done by then. That gives you like a week and some change. So interviews will take place Friday, April 14th throughout the day. So we'll have time slots from 8 to 5, somewhere in there. But again, I encourage you to apply for cabinet. It's a great way to get involved in SGA in kind of a different capacity, not to steal you away from Kate, but kind of. So check it out. Let me know if you have any questions. Let Jess know, let Jake know. But yeah, we look forward to seeing your applications. Thank you.
Thank you, President Stout. Are there any further directors who would like to give a report? Parliamentarian Atchison.
Marcus would just like to add that the closet is really easy process and
Thank you, Marcus. moving into general orders. There were a couple of people who had issues hopping onto the Zoom. So the first thing I want to do is get anyone on Zoom who was not sworn in last week, sworn in. Okay, Andrew, I am going to go ahead and say the oath of office. I need you to say, raise your right hand and say, I will at the end.
Gotcha.
I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of student senator and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association.
I will.
If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, name, major, hometown, favorite smell.
All right. What's good, guys? My name is Andrew Navarro. I am a sophomore in political science. Favorite smell. I've really been craving lately since, subtle flex, but I'm in Europe right now. So, but I've been craving like Popeyes fried chicken. And I just really miss that. I really miss like going in there, getting yelled at and, just getting that food. I miss that smell. And was there anything else or him, by the way?
Thank you, Andrew. We will. Senator Kamen.
Question of privilege question. Can I ask you a question? Like where in Europe? Am I allowed to ask that?
He's in Spain.
Thank you.
Okay, we are going to move into the election of the Speaker pro tempore of the Student Senate. I am going to open the floor for nominations, but I need to seek a motion to open the floor for nominations. Senator Compton,
Move to open the floor to nominations.
Seconded.
are there any objections? Awesome. Seeing that, the floor is now open for nominations. Senator Kappelman.
I nominate Samantha.
I accept.
Awesome. Senator Sushanik.
I nominate Brady Kappelman.
I accept.
Senator Questa. Blake, do you accept?
Unfortunately, no.
Andrew.
I want to nominate a very qualified Senator, Jacob Hoffman.
I absolutely deny.
Senator Long.
Move to close the floor for nominations.
Second.
Are there any objections? Okay, if the two of you want to come up here. You are going first. You are going second. So if you will leave the room. Move first. No. No. Where? Is it on the wall?
Pull the USB on the bottom of it. And plug it into the one that's.
Thank you, Senator Porter.
Flip the screen.
Can you screen share on the Zoom? We good?
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. If we haven't met before, my name is Samantha Sushanik. Some people call me Sam these days. I am a freshman right now. I'm living in Marlatt Hall. I'm studying political science.
and I'm from O'Fallon, Illinois, which is a suburb of St. Louis. So I'm an out-of-stater. Also, I like to give a different favorite smell every time. This time, it's coffee. So I just wanted to start by saying some of my experience in this organization. I started out coming into the Emergent Leaders program. I had a really great time with that. I made sure I could go almost every week. And if I couldn't, I usually had a pretty good excuse. In the end there, it was that SSF was having 2 meetings a week, so I could not make it to the intern program, but I learned so much about SGA through that program, met a lot of wonderful people. It was a very good time. Recommend people you know to join the intern program. It was great. Then I went on to become a member at large on the Student Service Fee Committee, which is probably my favorite thing I've done in SGA so far. That committee is just really exciting all the time. And then I was able to join TEC, the Tuition Enhancements Committee. And then I was appointed to be an interim senator just a few weeks ago. And now I'm currently a student senator. But let's get into why I am running for this position. I am very passionate about SGA, and I know I definitely want to be involved in this organization over the next few years. So I would really love to get in now while I'm a freshman and start making these changes and really working and learning within SGA. That way I can continue to serve at my best ability over the next few years. So the way I see it right now, our organization has 2 main issues. We aren't bringing in enough people, and we aren't keeping them here and keeping people engaged once they're a part of our organization. And I'm calling these 2 categories: presence, our presence on campus, and the progress we need to make within this organization to keep it engaging and fun. So as far as presence goes, I know at the beginning of the year, our Emergent Leader Director sent out nomination forms for anyone who knew someone who might be interested in joining the Emergent Leader Program. I would like to continue doing that and give these nomination forms to people like professors, RAs, Greek houses, or academic advisors. Then I would like to be working with the Collegian and giving them tips of what they might want to write about every week or so, just showing that we are doing the daily work of our organization and really getting our name across campus, showing that we aren't just people who cut funding, we're actually serving the students on a weekly basis. I also would like to make sure that we are utilizing our promotional budget, however that budget currently stands. The way I see the job of the pro tem, it's kind of the catch-all position for any work that isn't specifically legislated for to another position, such as making sure we're utilizing our promotion. And with that, I would like to put QR codes across this campus in places that are highly trafficked by students. This QR code will take you to a Google form, which is just like an open suggestion box, because I know that there are definitely problems on this campus that we can solve as student senators. We just do not know those problems exist because we cannot be everywhere at once. But the students know these problems and they interface with these problems daily. They just need to know that there's a place where they can come to us with their concerns and that we can fix these problems for them. Additionally, I would like to use caucus leaders in doing recruitment. I would like to suggest that caucus leaders attend a meeting within their college, a club related to their meeting, once a month, and then report back of what club they attended. They can speak with that club president, maybe give a little presentation, and invite people back to come join the Emergent Leader Program and to come join Senate and come see the work that we do. And if they don't come to this branch, maybe they'll go to another branch. The more people, the merrier. Additionally, caucus leaders would still be having kind of regular meetings with deans, college councils, advisory councils as needed. Different colleges have different needs. And then we could possibly use caucus leaders in soliciting if we are tabling on campus somewhere. And really, I would just like to use caucus leaders to get SGA out in front of students before elections week. We need to show that we are on this campus more than just 1 week a year when we're asking people to vote for us. Now, as far as progress goes of work that we're doing within the organization for the current student senators, I think it's also really the job of the pro tem to be serving the student senators. We're all serving the student body. I would like to use this position to serve you guys, to make sure that we are making this time fun and useful and efficient. So I would like to increase some professional development during this time. I know Kate talked about maybe strongly and suggesting more of a dress code. Similar along those lines, I think it would be great to do a standard email signature format for all of us, just so when we're having official SGA correspondence, we're looking official, we're signing off our emails looking nicely. We can even do a little workshop of the best ways to sign off your emails and how to set up that signature, as well as having professional profile pictures on Outlook. The university provides professional profile pictures and headshots. I believe that's currently in Dole Hall. I would also love to have us be really transparent and accessible to the student body on the SGA website, having all of our committees up to date and having all of our student senators listed clearly so that your constituents can contact you when they have these problems. And during our SGA time, I would love to do presentations. I would love to have a presentation just kind of outlining all the entities that we currently fund. Even on being SSF for a whole year, I don't even completely remember all the things that we fund, but I would really love it if student senators felt like they were leaders on this campus and that if a student comes to them with a concern, they can say, actually, I know based on my work in SGA that we fund student legal services and you can have a lawyer come help you for free. I think that's just a really powerful thing of being a part of SGA. We know the resources of this campus and we can help our friends and peers as best as possible. Additionally, I would love to do a legislation writing workshop. If you didn't go through the Emergent Leaders Program, maybe you're nervous to write legislation, you've never seen that before. We can work together and we can make you feel comfortable getting up at this podium, speaking, writing your legislation. It'll be great. And just overall opening up a sense of community within SGA. I know that there's a lot of cliques and I know that a lot of people have friends, but I think that it's really important that we are all working in this together. And the most important thing about SGA is the personal connections that you can make. It's been my favorite part of SGA so far has been the people that I've been able to meet and talk to here. So I'd love to have informal events, maybe in the CSI, we could do a board game night, we could do a coffee meetup, and just really making sure that this is a fun place that we want to be and we want to spend time together every week because we're going to be together for the next year. Additionally, I would love to poll all the senators on their passions to connect people from different caucuses that might not get to speak to each other otherwise. I think that one thing that really unites us all together in this room is that we're taking time out of our day based on our passions to help students and to help the student body. And that is a really powerful uniting factor here. And finally, I would like to do a suggestion form just in the minutes, just so that you can tell me what comments, concerns you have specifically about second open period speakers, about open period speaker time and which open period speakers we're going to invite. I would like to have as much of the room be engaged and happy about the speaker who is speaking at a time. And I think the best way to do that is to be very open to feedback and suggestions of what type of speakers you guys would like to see. And even if you aren't pleased with the current speaker at the time, you might know that your very favorite speaker of the year is coming next week, which I think would motivate everyone to be a little more engaged with who their current open period speaker is. So really, thank you so much for everyone who met with me. Thank you for letting me talk at you from this podium for a while. And now it's time for questions.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Samantha. We will now get into questions. Are there any questions? Senator Cuesta.
Can you speak to why you wanted to run?
Right. I really wanted to run to this position because when I came into SGA, I really felt that it gave me a place to belong on this campus. I found a really wonderful sense of community here, and I find it really gratifying to know that multiple nights a week, I'm getting to serve the university and I'm getting to serve my fellow students in this work. And I really wanted to step up my involvement. I kind of have the attitude that if I'm really going to invest myself in something, I might as well go 100% with it. And I might as well try to run for this position. And it's really been the people that I've been able to meet that really motivated me to want to work harder and take on a bigger role.
Senator Saya.
I think my biggest weakness is that I'm very stubborn. I love to hear other people's opinions, and that's something I'm working on learning, how to bring in, incorporate other people's opinions and not just having my own steadfast way of doing things. But I do just get very set in my ways and I like things done the way they're done, and I'm very stubborn.
Yeah, Senator Duns.
How well do you work with Kate on a personal level already?
I have had the great pleasure of getting to know Kate pretty well over these past few months. I consider her a great friend of mine. We talk a lot. She's very fun. We get mochas together. It's great. It's a fun relationship. Oh, also, I'm in love with her cat. Her cat is great.
Senator Kamen.
Half thought question, I'm sorry. Given the nature of the pro temp, they assume the position of the speaker in their absence. Are you prepared and able to take the position of the speaker if time comes? I know that's, you wouldn't be running probably there, but was asked.
Absolutely. I love a challenge. That sounds great. And I've also had a really great time getting to know a lot more about SGA through this process. I felt like when I just started running for the position in January, my knowledge of SGA has just grown completely. And I think I would be able to ask the right questions for anything I didn't know when I was sitting in that chair to make sure that everything's running smoothly and competently at the time. Just the key is always ask the questions you don't know, talk to people that have the right answers.
Senator Hoffman.
Why do you feel that you are qualified for this position?
I feel that I'm qualified for this position because of the work that I've been doing in SGA so far. And the work that I do outside of SGA. I'm also in Kappa Delta, and I've been doing work with a local political office. And in the summer, I usually work at a law firm, which is a lot of desk work and clerical work, which is a lot of what the pro tem is doing behind the scenes. So I think the day-to-day monotony of the job actually wouldn't get me down too much. I quite enjoy sitting at a desk doing work and filling out paperwork. I know I shouldn't enjoy that, but it's kind of fun.
Any further questions? Senator Jenness.
If your opponent was to be able to take this role, what is one thing you think he would be able to do very well?
I think my favorite thing about Brady and that he would do really well in this position is that he just always has a very positive attitude. I'm usually quite upset about something, very excited about something. I always have a passionate feeling about something. Brady, he's just a happy, chill dude. Like, he's just always got a smile. It's great.
There's a question on Zoom. Senator Navarro.
Hey, hey, Sam, glad you're running for this position. Just looking forward to you talking about why you want to. Anyway, I'm gonna go to my question is how are you gonna juggle, like classes, sorority living, the nightlife, Instagram Reels, TikTok, and this position? Like, in other words, like, what sort of time management skills do you have that you think would make you a better candidate or even a candidate to be running in this position?
I think that my time management skills have been really good so far. I think in this position, I might step down to 12 credit hours at least next semester.
Time for questions has expired.
Senator Cuesta.
I move to extend the speaker's.
Any objections? Your time is extended.
I've actually kind of been thinking ahead with that for a while. I decided I wanted to run for this position back in December or January. I actually had a job that I was going to work at the beginning of this semester, and I felt that it wasn't really going to fit in my schedule, especially if I had this position and was running for this position. So I ended up turning that job down. And as far as living in-house, I think I would really love having something to do outside of the house. And I didn't end up filling out any of the committee applications for within my sorority because I wanted to step up my involvement within SGA, and I didn't want to be conflicted between SGA committees and sorority committees.
Senator Kidd.
Perfect. Thank you. And Senator Shushanek, thanks for going through your presentation with us. I enjoyed viewing it. My question for you is describe a time when you had a difficult person you were communicating with and what made communicating with that person so challenging?
I think what makes it difficult to communicate with each individual person is not understanding specifically what upsets them and what you need to say that they will be able to respond to bestly. You have to communicate with each person differently and individually to what they will best understand. And I think normally when I have a time struggling to communicate with someone, it's usually on a political difference. And I struggle to understand why they feel so passionately about their position. But once you take the time to listen you can better explain your position by understanding where they're coming from and what appeals they will best understand.
Senator Pandillo.
Thank you so much for presenting. I really love your goals and your outlook on SGA. How would you bring impact and joy essentially into this body, to make people want to stay here and be retained?
I mean, I think the saying that the 5 minutes before the meeting and the 5 minutes after the meeting are the most important, and also just the time that we will spend with each other outside of this meeting time. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of ways to make this meeting time a super fun party, but being sure to provide a lot of opportunity during the day, maybe on the weekends after Senate, where we can all just meet up in a safe, comfortable environment that everyone feels that they can attend and they can come and make friends, and just encouraging communication between people. I know when I first came at SGA, I didn't know a lot of people, but I had a lot of questions. But the more people I met, the more people I was able to ask my questions to. So I would really just encourage anyone tonight, if you see a new senator in the room, go give them your phone number. Say, hey, reach out anytime, ask me any question, because that is how I got a lot of questions answered.
Vice President Binkley.
If you were to get this role, what do you feel like you could do to facilitate collaboration between the branches?
Having candy in the office seems like the right answer. I think just sharing phone numbers, texting, starting a snap streak. I don't know. Going into the office next door, having a casual conversation. We'd be neighbors. Just ensuring that we are having frequent communication. If we could set up maybe a weekly, bi-weekly meeting just to check in and see how things are going. And as well as just having a good personal relationship and a professional relationship with that. Just communicate.
Senator Glasscock.
Obviously, some goals are going to be difficult to obtain. How would you say that you deal with adversity when you come?
I try to be very flexible. Sometimes that comes off that I don't have super high expectations, but it's more so that you need to have manageable and realistic small goals and just accomplishing things in small steps. And when adversity comes up, you can quickly pivot, move on to the next small step. Maybe you can circle back to that. Maybe you can't, but it's about allocating that time appropriately. And if it's not going to work out, it's probably not going to work out. But now you have more time to spend on something else that might have even been a better idea than your original idea.
Are there any further questions? Seeing none, thank you. You can go and get Brady.
No, she said she wouldn't.
I don't.
It's not choice, it's back.
Awesome. Senator Capel, you will have 10 minutes to present and then 5 minutes for questions, which do have the ability to be extended.
Thank you. Hi, guys. I'm Brady Kappelman, and I'm really excited to be standing in front of you guys today because I'm running for Speaker Pro Tempore of the Student Senate. And let me first say that it has been such a privilege to get to meet as many of you that I have. It has been so nice to get to know people that I haven't met before and get to know some of you better that I've seen around in Senate before. So just a little bit more of who I am. I'm Brady Kappelman. I'm a freshman majoring in marketing with a minor in professional strategic selling and marketing technology. I am from Liberal, Kansas, and I gotta stick with my favorite smell, steak. All right, so over the last year in SGA, I have been so lucky to be able to do a bunch of different things so far. I began my journey as an intern on the intern program. Next, I was able to be a College of Business senator and joined in October of 2022. So I got nearly 3/4 of a term in Senate. And I was also the vice chair of the Strategic Oversight Committee. So taking meeting minutes is something I did about every single week. So I have that experience after a year of chairing that committee. You can go to the next one. I don't know why it's not working. Okay, so just a little brief overview of the platforms that I'm going to be talking about. My first goal is to increase engagement with the student body. Second is increase connections within SGA. And third is an updated college caucus plan. All right, so first of all, engagement with the student body. So we've heard a lot of different talk about this recently, and I think as someone that majors in marketing, that this is something that I think I can help out with to a high degree. So the main thing that I want to focus on is utilizing our social media platforms to do a few different things. As a digital media marketing business owner, I'm used to optimizing businesses and increasing engagement every single day of my life. So I hope to use the social media accounts to increase knowledge of SGA and resources, highlight why students should be in SGA, which might include posting pictures of different things we do or highlighting some of the fun things that we get to do. Also, feature student organizations that we support. We sponsor so many different organizations throughout the year, and taking the time to try and highlight some of those organizations, I think would help to bring in more people that may not have heard of SGA before. And with this being said, this is not things that I plan to just throw on whoever the new communication director is. I hope to work side by side with them and help to coordinate these plans, because this is a lot of work and it does take a lot of work to have a successful social media account. So working with them, whoever they may be, is extremely important. And also, lastly, just to speak with more students, whether it be at tabling events or other different opportunities that we have, taking the time to put our face and our organization in front of people is extremely important, especially at Week of Welcome when we have new students coming in. Getting them in right from the beginning is super important. So next, improving connections within SGA. The main way that I think I can do this is by having 10-minute meetings with all the senators. Throughout these meetings, I hope to get to know each senator and learn and aid and help with goals that each senator may have. Especially if you're a new senator, it can be really overwhelming to not know what's going on in SGA or K-State as a whole when there's so many different things that are going on. So using my position to be able to help other people find what they're looking for is something that I think I can help out with. And something that I'm really passionate about is just helping people in general. And I think that even if it may not be related to solving a student issue, helping you out in the best way that I can is really important to me. And I also, with this, want to create a more welcoming and inclusive environment. As we've talked about before, sometimes SGA can end up having different cliques in that. And especially if you're new, it can be really hard to find what group you feel welcome in. So at least having one person that's sitting in front of you every week that you know and feel comfortable talking to, hopefully that will make you feel more excited to come to every meeting every Thursday. And also, as we know, retention is something that we struggle with. And taking the time to listen to people as to why they may be resigning throughout their term and finding different key issues that different senators are having throughout the process is important so that we can find common issues and be able to try and solve those after hearing out what senators have to say. Lastly is the college caucus plan. So the first thing that I want to do once we have caucus leaders selected is to meet with the college caucus leaders and set goals, including caucus members meeting with the dean of college at least once, organizing out of Senate meetings and hangouts, engaging with student organizations in college to connect and learn from more students. And as we all know, every college operates a little bit differently. So allowing the room for each caucus leader to set their own unique goals specific to their college will allow every college to have the goals that are specific to the needs of their students. And in terms of how often I would like to have those college caucus meetings, the goal is to have 4 in a term, 1 at the beginning, 2 in the middle, and 1 at the end to be able to wrap up everything that we've been doing. By having this, I think this will be able to create a college caucus system that helps every student, including the caucus leaders and the students in which they represent. So in summary, I'm dedicated to working for you. Over my almost year being a part of SGA, I have loved every second of it. And I'm so excited, no matter what the outcome may be, to serve you as student senators, sorry. So in SGA, I've been an intern, College of Business senator, and the vice chair of the Strategic Oversight Committee. If elected, I plan to increase engagement with the student body, increase connections with SGA, and have a more defined college caucus plan. Thank you all. I'm Brady Kappelman, and I'm running for Speaker Pro Tempore of the Student Senate.
Thank you, Brady. Senator Kappelman. We will go ahead and open up the floor for questions. Senator Kermer.
Do you have a plan for smaller caucuses like the one architecture?
Yeah, for sure. So as we were able to talk about a few months ago in our meeting, what I hope to do is during that caucus time, so that you are able to have a more structured time, is to potentially meet with other colleges and combine with smaller groups. So you're able to collaborate and throw off different ideas with each other, but then you're still able to go your separate ways to help your individual college.
Senator Abadir.
Yeah, so you were talking about increasing the retention rate for senators. Kind of curious of what you've heard of reasons of senators resigning and how you would address those problems if they come up.
Yeah, so one of the big things that I've heard is people not feeling welcome or not feeling like they have a specific group to go to. And that's one of the things that I hope to solve, is trying to make the environment more welcoming by trying to meet with senators and make sure that their voices feel heard, so that there hopefully won't be as big of a chance for there to be those separate groups in SGA.
Senator Saya.
Yeah, I think one of my weaknesses is that it's really easy for me to overbook myself and, just have too many things different going on, which is something that I've struggled with. But I think by trying to do better, keeping track of my calendar, remember what's going on, I think is something that I can work to try and improve that.
Senator Dunce.
How has your major prepared you for a position like this?
That's a great question. So in terms of marketing, I think it's helped me a lot to be able to learn more about promotion and getting the word out there about different things. And with sales, I think over the last year, I've been able to learn a lot more about being more confident when I speak and being able to ask questions and ask more questions that are directly towards the issue that I'm trying to solve.
Senator Griffith.
What is the #1 best thing you can say about your opponent?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, yeah. So when I first met Sam in the intern program at the very beginning of the year, I could just tell that she had a spark in her. You know, there's so many people in the room that were there, and I could just tell that Sam was different. Sam is extremely committed to what she does, and she's also an extremely kind person. And I think that she would do an amazing job in whatever she's chosen to do.
Senator Compton.
In reference to an earlier question, have you made any preparatory steps in terms of taking on the new time commitment that this role would bring?
Yeah, definitely. So I have made sure in terms of like planning my classes that I leave a lot of block time open so that I'm available for meetings and different things like that, and keeping evenings open as well. Yeah.
Senator Vogelmore.
If you're not elected speaker, what is your backup plan of other positions?
Yeah. So I think my first goal, if not elected, would try to be to run for a Senate executive position. And then if not, kind of go from there and see what happens.
Senator Kamen.
You mentioned taking the time to interact and meet with everyone in the Senate. We have a very large Senate as it is, and hopefully, with your plans, it only gets bigger. What are some ways that you can actually actively engage with every senator while balancing the position's normal requirements on top of your academic requirements?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think it's really easy to, there will be a lot more work added on to the position, but I know that there will always be time to meet with people. And if there isn't, then I will choose to make that time because, as I stated, that is something that is extremely important to me, to make everyone feel welcome. And I'm the type of person, when I say something, I'm going to make sure that I do that. So even if I don't have time originally, I will make time to do that.
Thank you.
Senator Blood.
You mentioned taking minutes a lot. What's the most challenging part of taking minutes?
Yeah, I think the most challenging thing about taking minutes would be when things are going really fast, probably just to stay up to date with that would probably be the hardest thing.
Senator Pondello.
Time for questions has expired.
Senator Griffith.
I move to extend the speaker's time by 7 minutes.
Second.
Any objections? Senator Pondello.
Thank you. Thank you. So we talked about making connections, making people feel welcome. How would you advocate or bring other different populations into SGA that are not currently being served right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think one of the big things that I can do in that area is to work with the DEI committee chair, whoever that ends up being, to find ways to reach different student organizations that we haven't yet reached. And another thing with the college caucus plan that I recently mentioned, having caucuses go and meet with different organizations that we may not already be reaching is something that's really important, because we'll be able to find students that we may not yet even know. So.
Senator Kidd.
Thank you, Senator Kappelman, for going through and sharing your presentation with us. I enjoyed viewing it. My question for you, describe a time when you had a difficult person you were communicating with. What made communicating with that person so challenging?
That's a great question. So last year, I was a senior in high school. I had the privilege of being the student body president at my school. And one of the biggest challenges that I had to face was we had our senior class president at the time was someone that I really butt heads with. And we butted heads pretty much all throughout high school. And we had a really hard time kind of getting along that year, just because we had different goals that we wanted to achieve. And trying to solve that was just trying to have one-on-one conversations with her, or trying to talk to her in situations where it's harder for there to be a lot of tension. And taking the time to meet with somebody one-on-one to try and solve those issues, I think was eventually able to solve that. And now I can say that we are now friends and talk on occasion. So.
Vice President Binkley.
If you were to get this role, what would you do to facilitate communication between the branches?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think obviously being in the office I think just taking the time to speak to both the judicial and executive branch to fill them in on different things that we're doing, whether it be creating group chats or just talking in person when in the office, I think would help to continue to have that cohesiveness between all three branches.
Senator Glasscock.
So you mentioned working with the communications director to try to get outreach. Have you talked with the previous communications director or possible candidates for communications director?
Yeah, so I haven't been able to talk to the current communications director, but I have been able to talk with people that are considering running for communications director.
Senator Glasscock.
Can I follow up on that?
Yes.
How did those conversations go? What did they say about your plans?
Yeah, so I also want to mention I have been able to talk to Rachel Gromez, who is also the communications director. But throughout those conversations, I think we were able to have good conversations, and I think the feedback was positive. And I think at the end of the day, like collaborating is extremely important because once the year gets started, we don't know how everything's going to play out, but making sure that we take the time to meet together and get on the same page will definitely be helpful.
Are there any further questions? Seeing none, you may head out. Okay, we are now going to move into debate in the order that presentations were given. Are there any speeches for Senator Suchanek? Senator Questa.
I defer my speaking rights.
Give me 1 second. Put the microphone back.
All right, good evening, everyone. For those of you who I haven't had the chance to meet yet, my name is Blake Phillips. I've been at SGA for the past 4 years, serving in a wide variety of roles, but most recently, I'm finishing up my term as Student Services Fee Committee Chair. But before Kate and Evan, I had the privilege of serving as your Speaker of the Student Senate. And so I also ran for Speaker Pro Tempore my freshman year in a race that I unfortunately lost. But needless to say, I've had multiple years of experience working with the Speaker Pro Tem and have had the pleasure to work alongside of and manage this position as well. With all of this experience in mind, it is my pleasure to help speak for Sam tonight. I first interacted with Sam during our at-large committee member selection process. Each fall, most committees seek applications from students in the general student body to serve as voting members on those committees. When we discussed potential members in our committee, Sam was by far our top choice. These choices had to be confirmed the next day in our Senate Executive Committee, which is a committee that includes all of the different committee chairs. And thankfully, I was able to beat out all of my fellow chairs and to have Sam serve on our committee, which was a phenomenal decision. And I'm so glad that we were able to make that happen. Fast forward about a week later, and I had my first one-on-one meeting with Sam to introduce her and help bring her up to speed on what we've been working on. Let me tell you, I was absolutely blown away by Sam. Sam easily digested everything I was saying and was immediately asking me questions that were honestly hard for me to answer as a chair, as someone who had been around the student services fee for 3 years in college. She was coming up with creative solutions to some of our budget issues that I hadn't even thought of. Then when she began attending our committee meetings, she was already one of our most active members right out the gate. Student Services Fee is a really hard committee that generally takes almost a year to get fully up to speed for. Sam took everything in stride and was an active contributor to all of our discussions and helped us come to several different solutions. Her service on the Student Services Fee Committee and the Tuition Enhancements Committee is extremely important to the role of Speaker Pro Tem, as the Speaker Pro Tem oversees the SGA budgets and various different financial responsibilities. Sam is more than qualified to handle this side of the job, and I am extremely proud to have served as her committee chair. The role of Speaker Pro Tem is a very important role that takes the right type of person to succeed. One of the most important traits that a Speaker Pro Tem needs to have is the knowledge to help student senators develop legislation. Sam is not only extremely personable, but she is also extremely knowledgeable about all things SGA. She has written multiple pieces of legislation, of which were even unrelated to student services fee, to help better the lives of students on campus. And even though we disagreed with these things at times, Sam is someone who really was awesome to debate against and really helped me come to the best solution for all students. She's someone who would thrive at helping connect student senators to issues that they're passionate about and would have the knowledge to help guide them. Sam is also someone who would help connect this body within itself and make SGA a better place. I want you to think about why you ran for student government, because Sam would probably like to know and would want to help you achieve your goals as well. This is going to be a great year for you all. And unfortunately, thanks to Carson, I appreciate the nomination, but I will not be joining you for it as I'll be graduating. I'm putting my money on someone who will help, or who will call something out when it's wrong, but will be the first to admit when she is wrong as well. I want you to vote for someone today who will run the SGA that you want to be a part of. And I want you to vote for someone today who wants you to be a part of the bigger picture. And that person is Sam, and I strongly encourage you to vote accordingly.
Thank you, Speaker Emeritus. Are there any speeches for Senator Kappelman? Senator Saya?
I'd like to refer my rights to a reading.
Thought I lost my whole speech there for a second, but we're okay. Hey, everybody. My name is Rachel Grolness. I'm a K-State alumna as I graduated in December. But during my time in SGA, I served 2 terms as the student senator and 1 term as the communications director, and I served on various committees. So I'm speaking in favor of Brady Kappelman as your next Speaker Pro Tem because Brady has SGA experience. He wants to improve this organization and has a plan to do so. And I also believe that Brady is not afraid to try a new way of doing things, which is something I really value in SGA. So Brady and I first met when he was appointed a College of Business senator last October and was soon elected vice chair of the Strategic Oversight Committee. Brady was eager to learn and soak up as much as he could about SGA and took every opportunity to do so. I believe he is very personable and will use his strengths to connect senators with similar personal and professional interests together, as he'll meet with all senators for 10 minutes, which is one of his platforms that I think is a really great idea in order to build a connectedness within this organization. Additionally, one of Brady's platforms has to do a lot with the SGA social media accounts. And I spoke to Brady as I am a former communications director, and I found his ideas to be really helpful because as a communications director is an independent position, you have a lot of ability to do different things, but not being at Senate all the time can be really difficult. So I think partnering with the Pro Tem in order to have more information about what's going on in Senate and them being more connected to the committees will greatly help all of the body of K-State know more about SGA than just the people who are in SGA. And another point that I hit on is that Brady is like ready to try new things. That's something I really appreciated about him, is that he was always willing to listen to ideas, hear people out and just figure out how to make something happen. He's a great sounding board. So for all of these reasons, I think Brady would be a great selection as your next Pro Tem. I think both Samantha and Brady would be great choices. So congrats to all those elected and appointed who are here tonight. Thank you and vote wisely.
Thank you. Are there any speeches for Senator Sushanick? Senator Rogers?
That's the last time you're gonna hear me do that, so take it in. So for everyone who doesn't know me in the room, first, welcome to SGA, welcome to Student Senate. Congratulations on getting your position. I just finished up my term as Chief of Staff, so I worked really closely with Parker Vogelmar and Jeff Ebeck, our past student body president. And so I have the honor of coming up here for my final SGA speech to debate for Samantha for her run for Speaker Pro Tempore. So me and Samantha have a really cool relationship. So during the Emerging Leaders, you get paired with a mentor who's already been in SGA for a couple terms. And so I was paired with Samantha. So Samantha was my mentee, which is a super special relationship for myself. And I saw her in the room and I was like, that girl, she's got spunk. I like her. I want her to be my mentee. And luckily, Peyton put us together. So I was blessed to have her as my mentee. But right off the bat, she was so eager. Like, I thought we were gonna like get to know each other, say hi, but she was already off to the races asking questions about how can I get involved in SGA? Can I come to some cabinet meetings and sit in? Like, she was so eager to get to know more about SGA, which I can definitely appreciate. And even though maybe I was a bad mentor just due to my busyness as Chief of Staff, Samantha was always super compassionate, empathetic to sometimes whether it was like quickly grabbing some coffee instead of maybe having a long talk. She was so compassionate and so loving. And so I really love that about her. But not only was she one person that stood out to me as a mentee, she also just stood out to me as a person. I always appreciate a strong woman in the room, and she definitely is all that and more. And so I really appreciated that, especially, you know, leaving SGA. It's nice to know there are many spunky women in the room who I really appreciate. When I met her, I was like, she reminds me of a young Maggie Billman, which some of you might never recognize, but she had my position before. Maggie is a legacy to SGA. And so Samantha definitely reminds me of her as she hopefully will come into this role. But one thing I did really appreciate about Samantha is her resilience. So many of you might not know, but she passed a bill that has been introduced so many times in SGA and has been shot down so many times in SGA. And so it takes some real guts for a group of people, not only her, but a group of our emerging leaders to come in and be able to introduce that legislation, even though it's been shot down so many times. So it's really great to see not only her resilience, but her passion for, even though this has been shot down, she is so strong in her beliefs and what she believes in, that she's willing to still push and persevere, which I think is something we definitely need in our pro tem position. Just someone who's not only going to push our student centers, but also push the speaker to remain, you know, doing her job, even though I know she will do a great job and stuff like that. But one of my favorite things, one of my favorite aspects, again, of Samantha is that she's willing to serve all students. I think that's so important, especially in our leadership roles, that we're not just serving our demographics or the groups and communities that we belong to. And I truly think Samantha is going to serve all students. And that's something that I really believe in and something I teach. I always say you can teach people about the things in SGA and how it runs, but you can't teach people heart and want and motivation. And so I think Samantha's got all those three things, which will make her a great Speaker Pro Tempore. So I encourage everybody to vote for Samantha.
Thank you. Are there any speeches for Senator Kappelman? Senator Saya.
I'd like to defer my rights to Bill.
Hi, I'm Billy Talbert, and I'm here to support Brady for Pro Tem. Brady is an effective communicator, which is crucial to a crucial quality for any leader. He's able to convey his ideas and thoughts clearly and concisely, and is always willing to listen to other opinions. This is particularly important in a setting like Student Governing Association, where diverse views and perspectives need to be taken into account. When I first met Brady, I was honest in my worries of where caucuses are headed. A few days later, Brady got back to me with an extensive plan. I'm not going to go into depth due to time, but in short, Brady's plan is to make caucuses more open and effective, encouraging more participation for members and providing more resources to help them carry out their functions more effectively. With Brady's leadership, I am confident that we will see a significant improvement in the functioning of our caucuses and ultimately in the overall effectiveness of student government. So I ask you to vote for Brady tonight.
Thank you. Are there any speeches for Senator Sushanic? Senator Long.
Oh, don't look so bored, Ethan. I'm probably the halfway point.
No, I'm very.
Don't fall asleep quite yet. I'm allegedly a very good speaker, at least Zach thinks so, listen. Throughout my college career, I've been inundated with the term servant leadership. A lot of teachers like to use it in their Lead 212 classes, or we like to use it to complement philanthropic efforts. But I think for a lot of us, it's become watered down, and the effect is really, it doesn't mean what it used to. For those that don't know me, I'm the SAC guy. I've been an SGA for the entirety of my college career, and I've had the pleasure to be good friends and confidants for a couple of people who have taken those not so comfortable chairs. For those that don't know, those positions are not glamorous. There will be days that you think everybody in the world is against you, and it may be true. Those chairs are services, not privileges. Aside from SGA, the other thing you may know about me is construction, not the hammer, hammer, bang, bang type, but close enough for government work. For anybody that's worked even tangentially to the industry, you know, we interact with some interesting characters of all sorts. One of those is the architect. The architect makes my job very difficult. Is Anna Koch here? I apologize to APD in general. See, my job would be easiest if every building ever built was the same 4 equally dimensioned walls with the same pitched roof and the same 4 Johnson County beige walls. Sorry, Dakota's pointing at me frantically. I thought something was behind me or a spider. Architects insist on seeing a more artistic side to our job, and thank God for it, frankly. They start their job with incessant questions, knowing every facet of the building down to the doorknobs and the color of the base and the floor and the carpet of the pattern of the carpet even. Anybody who works in the industry also knows one additional truth in addition to taxes and death. Nobody will ever agree. The architect is charged with assembling these dissonant and differing voices, some kind of unified vision for the building. And the fact that they can do that is amazing to me. They help all stakeholders bring their vision into fruition and compromise with the others. And they often do it at the expense of their own well-liked nature. I sat in on student services fee with Sam for the majority of last term, and I had the privilege to have her sit in on my SAC meetings for the Emerging Leaders Program. I've watched her growth for the past 8 months. I can confidently say that Sam Suchanek is our SGA architect. Sam asks the difficult questions. She always has the drive to be in the room where it happens. And when it comes time to devise solutions, she makes decisive and eloquent compromises to help our body make progress. Sam wants that chair, not for the title it brings, the prestige or the compensation, but because she can use it to design our body a better building, a better Senate. That's servant leadership, and she's got it.
Thank you. Are there any speeches for Senator Kappelman? Seeing none, would anyone like to defer their rights to Darby? Senator Porter.
Does this work? Okay, it's on. Hi. So I'll be speaking on behalf of Brady Kappelman. So the first time I met Brady was actually at interviews for the upcoming Attorney General. And I sat next to him, had absolutely no clue who he was. But as soon as I sat down, he asked my name, what position I held in SGA, and my favorite thing about my position. So right off the bat, met him and thought highly of him. So I also paid attention to the questions he asked during the interviews, and you could tell he was fully paying attention to every answer, had a backup question, and fully thought through the whole process. I think that Brady would be perfect in this position because he has already shown that he can make connections with the other 2 branches. I think that's an important character that this position needs to hold. There are 3 branches to the government, and by being able to take our biggest branch and connect them to the other 2, I think that would be that would benefit well for everyone, keeping everyone in touch on the same pages, because like it's been mentioned multiple times tonight, we are the representation of the whole student body.
After the interview, the first time I met him, he stopped me and asked if he could ask me a couple of questions to learn more about judicial branch. This showed that he really did care. And I think in his 10-minute interviews that he plans to have with every senator, I think that everyone will get to see that and see that he really does care about this position and SGA as a whole. Every single time I've seen Brady, he will stop me and ask how I'm doing, if there are things that he thinks should be brought up in Senate, since obviously, as everyone knows, I have no speaking rights. So he always made sure that I felt heard, or that if there were things that I thought that should be brought up, he would do that. And I think everyone should vote for Brady. That's all I got for you.
Thank you. Are there any speakers for Senator Sushanic? Senator Kermer.
Good evening. I am also a senator for the College of Architecture. I take total offense for the past comment. Today, I want to take a few moments to talk about a remarkable young woman who is running for Speaker Pro Tempore. I recently learned about Samantha's political involvement in the local community during our meeting about her candidacy for the position. I am truly impressed by her dedication and passion for public service. Samantha has proven that she is a driven individual who is willing to go above and beyond to make a positive difference in the lives of others. What really stood out to me about Samantha is that she is still a full-time student who still manages to make time for political activism and community service in her free time. I guess I should stop complaining about the time commitment of architecture. This kind of commitment of hers is truly inspiring, and it speaks volumes about her character and leadership abilities. Samantha is running on a platform of engagement with the student body, recruitment through various avenues, and constant feedback from current senators. She believes that these are the key elements that will help the Student Governing Association become more effective and responsive to the needs of our college community. In addition, Samantha has the outgoing personality and strong communication skills that are essential for this position. She has a natural ability to connect with people and build meaningful relationships, which is crucial when working with a diverse group of individuals. In my opinion, Samantha is the best choice for the position of Speaker Pro Tempore. Her energy, enthusiasm, and dedication to serving others make her a true asset to her college community. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any speakers for Senator Kappelman? Senator Questa?
Information
Yes,
is.
it is not in order. Are there any speeches for Senator Kappelman? Senator Dunks?
Hi, everybody. I'm brand new here and this is my first time speaking with you guys, but I first want to say you guys have made me feel very welcomed and I am very happy to be a part of something like this. But Brady asked me if I could speak on his behalf for this election, and I was honored to do so. I've known Brady since the beginning of this school year. You guys all know Brady. He immediately dove into being involved on campus, not only being involved in student governing association, but also for sales ambassadors. Sales isn't even his major, marketing is his major. And so for him to be super involved in his certificate is really, it shows a lot of respect and a lot of hard work that he's done for K-State as a whole. And he makes everybody feel like they're heard, and he makes everybody feel wanted. And that's what everybody wants at the end of the day. And I think he really would take the time to get to know all you guys, because I certainly did get to know him. Perfect attendance for our sales ambassadors. I'm secretary, so I have to keep track of that. But he is a star student when it comes to involvement. And I think that's exactly what the SGA is looking for. So I please ask you to vote for Brady Kappelman. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there further speakers for Senator Sushanic? Senator Hoffman?
My phone isn't almost dead this time, so this should go better. Well, I got to know Sam over the past year or so because I am actually your RA, and you may say that does that make me have to like her? And the answer is yes, I do have to like her. It's in our contract. But even if I met Sam in SGA, I know that I would still think she's one of the most hardworking, most dedicated people that I know in, quite honestly, all of SGA. There is not another person that I've seen put as much effort or time or stress into something that she has only just begun to explore and understand. In addition to being her RA, I have served with her on multiple committees. One where I was vice chair on, and Speaker Thomas's Tuition Enhancements Committee, and with Chair Blake's SSF. And both committees, she was one of the best members in either. She asked questions all the time and never was worried of what other people would think about her opinions. If she thought something, you knew what she thought. And that is one of the best things about someone, being able to speak up. In addition, her and Kate are already good friends, as both she has mentioned all that. But even though they are good friends, I'm not worried in the slightest that if she disagrees with Kate on something, that she wouldn't be able to speak up and say what she really thinks. Like I just said, she's as she said in her presentation, it's her way or the highway, and she'll she can work with you. I'm sure with that. But Sam's working with Sam is really fun, and I really enjoy it. Plus, I've never written an IR for her, so that's makes my life a little easier. So with that, that's why I think you should vote for Sam. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any speakers for Senator Kappelman? Senator Kidd.
Thank you, Speaker Thomas. I'd like to start off by just apologizing for not being there in person. As we all know, I had surgery last week. I thought I'd be a lot better off than what I am now, and so that has necessitated me to stay at home. But I'm thankful that with technology and changes to our SGA policies, I'm able to participate virtually. So while you may not be able to see me, you can definitely hear me. So I don't want to take a lot of time, but I just want to start off by saying that there's this saying that the best indicator of future performance is past performance. And I'd like to use that quote and use it on the basis of looking at the position being sought, the Speaker Pro Tempore position. I don't like to use this title, but I'd like to say that I'm the longest serving student senator that we've had at K-State. I have 2 degrees from K-State and working on my 3rd. And with that being said, with this being my 10th year being involved with SGA, that means that I've seen 9 speakers and 9 Speaker Pro Tempores hold these positions throughout my affiliation with student government. I would next like to say that with having the opportunity to observe so many different people in these positions, there's the reality of the goals that we have heard from both candidates, but with that too, also understanding of how the candidates will naturally prioritize what their different goals are. And then just hearing what Brady had to say, I was more under the impression that his expansive plans for work inside the Senate and outside the Senate were grounded and had specific measures for success and specific measures for failure for what could be tweaked. The approachability of a candidate is also really important and paramount for a position like this. I'd like to think that it's not just what we do inside Senate, but what we do outside of Senate that defines who we are as students at K-State. And I think that Brady just brings a wealth of different experiences that can be combined with Senate to make him a successful Speaker Pro Tempore. And then lastly, while friendship is important, I do think that the personalities of both positions in leadership, the Speaker and Speaker Pro Tempore, while that's important, I think the personalities are more important. I think that there'd be that natural, strong working relationship between Brady and Kate that would allow them to be a stronger force. And again, as I've seen with many speakers and Speaker Pro Tempores in the past, it's not just the one that has the defining moment. I think it's a combination of both. And so I think we need, we already have Speaker Thomas, who already is amazing, but I think we need someone that can really work well with her and offset her. And I think Brady would best be able to do that. So thank you for your time. And I hope everyone vote for Brady Kappelman.
Thank you, Senator Kidd. Do we have any further speakers for Senator Sushanic? Senator Navarro?
Yes. Okay. All right. What's good? So honestly, so many people kind of covered a lot of things I was going to talk about, so I'll try to make this super quick. Of course, I'm speaking in favor of Sam Sushanic. Yeah. Not only as a fellow senator, but also as a friend. I remember my first day when I met her. Mr. Rejected my nomination, Jacob Hoffman, introduced me to her in our Physics for Policymakers class, and I could immediately tell that she held herself to a super high standard. She was organized, she was punctual, and I could immediately, I don't know, I could tell that, she really cared about, her classes. And I thought that that was it. But then as I got to know her better, and then I learned that she was part of the intern program, I started to understand a lot more about her, and golly, I was impressed. From what I heard, I'm sure that Peyton could expand more on this, but she was one of the best interns in the program last year. And I think that she has incredible potential to be one of the most knowledgeable and most involved SGA member of her generation, I guess. It doesn't really matter how much she learns as an SGA member, though. What matters most is what she will do for the K-State family. And as former Speaker Pro Tempore runner-up Blake Phillips said, if you tell her the reason why you're here, she will put in all of the effort that she can to help you achieve that. And I couldn't say, he said it the best way. I think she really cares about students. And I think that we can get easily caught up in the semantics and the institution of SGA, as we are part of it, but I don't think she will. I think that the number of times that she's talked to me about actually wanting to do something on campus and create this legislation or do this and do that, honestly, from day one, inspirational. And, I thought that I had ideas. And so, and also, she also mentioned that she was being stubborn is one of her biggest weaknesses. But I think that there are kind of two sides to that, because I've seen her admit that she was wrong. She hates it, but she does it. And she accepts it. And I think that being stubborn for her also means that what she wants to do and what she believes is something that she cares a lot about. And I think that I've zeroed out that she will follow through with everything that she talked about today. Not only is she intelligent, but she's incredibly approachable, and she's an absolute dog. Literally schooling, sorority, all that stuff, incredibly impressed. And although I don't think that we can make a bad decision today, with either Brady or Sam, both incredible candidates with incredible potential. Sam's my choice for these reasons. And not only will she work hard for the students, but I think she'll bleed purple for them. So thank you.
Thank you, Senator Navarro. Are there any speeches for Senator Kappelman?
Point of information,
Yes,
is the previous question in order yet?
it is in order. Senator Coy.
Okay, so hello, everyone. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, starting off this speech, Brady and I had not really spoken past a hi or just small talk before I had my meeting with him earlier this semester about his candidacy for this position. But from our meeting, I gathered he is a very positive person and has an amazing work ethic. Brady's goal for SGA is to increase engagement with the student body, increase connections within SGA, and have a defined college caucus plan. I think Brady's plan for pro tem position align with a lot of the other leadership positions in Senate that have already been elected. This year, there is a huge push to get people involved in SGA again and increase our visibility, which I think Brady has the background to do, considering his degree program is marketing with a minor in professional strategic selling and marketing technology. He is quite literally learning how to sell and market things for his career, which is what we need in SGA at this current moment. He also has his own marketing business, so he's been able to put what he's learned in class into the real world and prove to us all that he knows how to market and sell things. With where we're at in SGA, like what you've heard over the past couple of weeks several times, it's an issue recruiting members, retaining them, and getting back our presence on campus. There is no doubt that with his background, leadership, and positive attitude, he will be able to make progress on this issue. Brady can also provide support and advice to the communications director on how to transition to market and sell SGA to the student body versus just informing them about what we do. We also need to have new and innovative ideas that are also a strategic way of thinking to connect the K-State campus to the Student Governing Association again. Brady also wants to build personal connections with people within SGA. His plan to hold 10-minute meetings with senators can help people feel welcomed into Senate and not feel so intimidated. This also would allow them to voice their goals and their passions to him to help you achieve what you are wanting to achieve during your time as a senator. As you have heard multiple times, Brady makes people feel welcomed, like they matter, and along with chasing his passions, he helps others do as well. I think both candidates are more than qualified and capable of the job, but I hope you consider voting for Brady Kappelman for Speaker Pro Tem.
Thank you. Senator Griffiths.
I move the previous question.
It has been moved and seconded to call previous question. Are there any objections?
Object.
Okay, that'll go into a hand vote. All of those who would like to move to previous question and move into a vote, please raise your placards now. All opposed? Yeah. Previous question is called. So I am going to send you guys the email. Oh, Senator Kamen.
I object to the question in consideration of the previous question. I don't have a lot of words. I object to the question.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to do before that.
Sorry, it passed. I am going to go ahead and send that email now with the link to vote. Blake is going to get both of our candidates. Anyone who is proxying, who has not had their person show up, go ahead and write down their name and then in parentheses proxy, and you can cast a vote for them.
Yes, I'm wrong. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Drew You can't do that. Yeah.
I just thought I knew there that there was.
Hello. I want to say that both of the candidates did a great job and I am super proud of both of them. Can we go ahead and do a round of applause for both candidates? I then want to congratulate your new Speaker Pro Tempore, Brady Kappelman.
Okay, Brady, if you'll raise your right hand and say I will at the end. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Speaker Pro Tempore and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association.
I will.
Okay? Same introduction, name, major, hometown pronouns, and favorite smell.
All right.
I am Brady Kappelman. I am a major in marketing with a minor in professional strategic selling and marketing technology. I'm from Liberal, Kansas, and my favorite smell is steak.
Go on.
Okay, now that we are done with general orders, we will move on to introduction of legislation. First up is Bill 2. Is there a motion to consider Bill 2? Senator Griffith.
I move to consider Bill 2.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Are there, the author can go ahead and come forward. Senator Blood.
I move to allow the author.
It has been moved and seconded to allow the author to summarize. Are there any objections? Seeing none, you may summarize.
Okay, folks, this is a piece of legislation amending the statutes to make it a little bit clearer about what happens to referred legislation when we don't have committees yet. So last week when Kate and I were transitioning, I found myself wondering what happens to legislation when it gets referred to Senate Exec at the first committee and Senate Exec doesn't exist yet, or the first Senate meeting and Senate Exec doesn't exist yet. So I figured we should put it in writing rather than just relying on institutional knowledge. And I actually had to go back and like look at an old copy of the agenda last time we had introduction of legislation during the first student Senate, because we didn't last year. So I figured I would just write it down in the statutes so that it is clear for future Senates.
Awesome. Are there any questions or corrections for the author? Senator Blood.
On line 20, to make sure at the end of that.
Yep, I got that down. Are there any further questions or corrections for the author? Seeing none, you may take a seat. That is all the introduction that we have for tonight, which means we will move. Senator Griffith.
I move to Special Order Bill 2.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to Special Order Bill 2. That is a debatable motion, so you have first rights to debate.
Alrighty, just picking up on what Evan said, because right now, this is not going to be even officially voted on until after the committees have been built. So it just makes sense to just hurry up in the process so that there actually is it written before. It's just a good idea to have it just written down in the statutes.
Are there any speeches in the negative? Senator Porter.
So like I said, in the past, we've done it the way that it is written down in the legislation. The only reason I submitted it this week is because I was thinking about it and just wanted to get it done. I could have submitted this like 10 weeks from now and I wouldn't have felt any differently about it. I really do not see any reason to special order it. So just don't vote on the motion. Vote no on the motion, please. Thank you.
Are there any further speeches in the positive on the motion to special order? Are there any further speeches in the negative? Are there any further speeches at all? Seeing none, we will take a hand vote on the motion to special order Bill 2. All of those who would like to special order Bill 2, please raise your placards now. All opposed, same sign. That motion will fail. Now that we have concluded introduction of legislation, we will move into second open period. Are there any second open period speakers tonight? Senator Kamen.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I want to say thank you for bearing with me throughout the entire Senate. I am very jet lagged and very tired. But I had a few things I wanted to say but I had COVID the 2 Senates ago, and then I was in Denmark the last Senate. So I'm finally here. But I wanted to say first, thank you for, I don't know how it's actually decided, but for whoever it was choosing me to be Senator of the Year. It really means a lot and I really appreciate it. And I won't keep talking about it because I'm pretty sure like half the Senate's new. So like you weren't here, but like it really means a lot considering this was my first Senate, and being a part of SGA is actually what has helped me realize that while I love physics, I don't love math. And it helps me realize that there's actually something called policy physics. And that is now where I want to go. And it's because of you guys that have actually been able to find this passion of mine. The other thing is the Kansas Department of Health and Environment has reached out to me to help me work. I'm going to work with them a bit on a new project they have for scholarships. And I'll probably have more information on this coming out, but they have asked me to try compiling some links that I can send them of internships or scholarships that take place during the school year that count as school credits. They're trying to start some things so that you all have the opportunity to do paid internships or other internships during the year while receiving school credit for it. And they're trying to see what other opportunities that are similar are out there. I don't have any. And I told them that, but I said I'd reach out to everyone here. So if you have any, please email them my way. I'd really appreciate it and really help with this process. And as I said, you'll hear more probably in the future. But yeah, thank you.
Are there any second open period speakers? Senator Dennis.
Hi, everyone. For those of you who might not remember, my name is Brooke. I am a drama therapy graduate student here on campus. There are two things I just want to put in your ear. I am both representing the Creative Arts Therapy Students, which is my organization, in Miss K-State this year, and I would really like to see a lot of you show up for me if you would so choose. And second, and honestly, this is more important to me, the first big internship we do as drama therapy students is something called Barrier-Free Theater, where we devise and put on a theater show with adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And that is going on at the end of April. Our show is called All Stars High School, Scenes from a High School in Space. And it would really mean a lot to my clients if some of you showed up to show that K-State, not just the drama therapy program and like whoever kind of knows our tiny little program, but K-State itself really cares about them and what they just want to demonstrate to the world. So if any of you would be inclined to come to that, you can contact me either through email or I work in the CSI, so you can come find me there. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Are there any further second open period speakers? Senator Kermer.
So a couple weeks ago, I gave an update. The College of Architecture, Planning and Design has had a new dean search. I've apparently been told that they made a selection. So be on the lookout for me, either an announcement tomorrow or sometime next week. So.
Senator Porter.
Thank you for reminding me, Brandon. I'm on the Arts and Sciences Dean Search Committee because Arts and Sciences is looking for a new dean also. The search committee met today and narrowed down the list of candidates that we're inviting to campus for campus tours and open forums. So I will have more information in the next week or so, but I would really encourage any of you, not even just arts and science students, to come to those open forums because no matter who you are at K-State, you're probably going to take a class in the College of Arts and Sciences at some point. So this is an important dean position, in my opinion. And I think that we need to have as many students turn out to those forums and have the ability to engage with the candidates to find out who's going to best serve students. Thank you.
Super quickly, I just wanted to say to make sure to show up to Senate next week. Our first open period speaker is going to be someone from NBAF. And they are going to come and talk to us about what the relationship they plan to have with the university and overall safety, what they're doing. So it'll be a good first open period speech, and I recommend that you all come to that. Are there any further second open period speeches? Seeing none, Speaker Pro Tempore Kappelman will take it away with Senate shoutouts. Hey, Evan, you can help him.
Yes.
Momentarily.
All right, big shout out to Juan for his service as pro tem this year. To me, Juan Pineda Gomez wait a minute, I'm not Juan Pineda Gomez, but still shout out to Juan Pineda Gomez for an excellent term as pro tem. To policy physics for existing, apparently. Shout out to sexy construction majors. Shout out to backseat speaker Porter. Shout out to Slane. Shout out to Juan for saying slay. JK, not Juan. Shout out to the new pro tem for saying slay. Shout out to Canva for keeping SGA in business. Shout out to my fellow world traveler. Shout out to Chief of Staff Marta for being the best Chief of Staff K-State has ever seen. Shout out to Sam and her nightlife. Shout out to being in a silly, goofy mood. Shout out to Brady's love for me. Shout out selfies with Willie, Brady Kaplan. Shout out to Robert and his rules of order. Shout out to the last time the mic will take noise of Marta lowering it. Shout out to Marta's mini spunky women. Shout out to Jacob Sack for the last time. Shout out to Hammer Hammer Bang Bang. Shout out to Jacob Long, who just trashed architects. Shout out to the judicial branch for having no rights. To the longest serving student senator. Shout out to Jeremy for being a cool physics guy. And that's all we got.
Okay, I'm going to move on to reference of legislation. We have Bill 2. I'm going to refer to the Senate Executive Committee. This is the first committee that will be a committee. Make sure you fill out the Senate Exec application. Thanks, everyone. With that, Speaker Pro Tem Kappelman will take it away with our second roll call.
All right, awesome. Abadir.
Here.
Atchison.
Here.
Ayers. Biggs.
Yeah.
Flood.
Here.
Broughton.
Here.
Bruckner.
Here.
Coke.
Here.
Cole. Compton.
Here.
Coy.
Here.
Questa.
Here.
Dennis.
Here.
Dunce.
Here, sorry.
Glasscock.
Here.
Griffith.
Here.
Hartzell.
Here.
Heatherman.
Here.
Hoffmans.
Here.
Hoffman.
Here.
Jacobson.
Here.
Common. Or Cammon, sorry. Kidd.
Here.
Kermer. Nisley. Kinsey.
Here.
Long.
Here.
Lynn.
Here.
Melcher.
Here.
Navarro.
Here.
Nichols. O'Malley.
Yes.
Pelton.
Here.
Peterson.
Here.
Pondio.
Here.
Porter.
Here.
Rios.
Here.
Rodriguez Melendez.
Here.
River.
Here.
Saya Nick. Here. Saya Carly.
Here.
Salmon.
Here.
Spindler.
Here.
Strunk.
Here.
Sushanik.
Here.
Volgamore.
Here.
Winger.
Here.
Wolf.
Here.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Is there a motion to adjourn? Senator Solomon. Is there a second? It has been moved and seconded to adjourn. Are there any objections? Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.